For problem 11, our goal is to determine where the first quartile will reside. In a problem like this, a lot of times students end up looking at the data at the bottom of the screen and seeing that this data goes from 0 to 10, and then determining that the first quartile should be 2.5, or 1/4 of 10, the range of the data. However, the data that we have here is not equally weighted between 0 and 10, which means that the first quartile isn't actually at 2.5. In order to determine where the first quartile will be, we're going to have to go back to these numbers that we found in part 1 of this problem. We know that 25 of the 50 total people from this problem ended up in the 0 to 2 million salary range. If 25, or half of them, ended up in the 0 to 2 million range, then that means that the first quarter must have also shown up in this range. Another way to look at this is we've got a total of 50 baseball players. So I'll make a number line here from 0 to 50. If we split this in half, we know that 25 of the baseball players should be below this point, and 25 of the baseball players should be above this point. This point, if you recall, is the median. Then, if we're trying to figure out where the first quartile is going to be, we need to split up the data points that fall below the median and find its halfway point. So if we split this one up, that means that approximately 12.5 will be below that point, and 12.5 will be above that point. An easier way to find that is to take 50 divided by 4, and that will give you 12.5 people. So if you know the total number of people in your study, you can divide that by 4 to get your quarters or quartiles. So we need to find where the 12.5 person resided. Finding the 13th person will do for this problem. So going back to the original problem that we have over here in the histogram, if we go up from 0 to 13, that gives us something right about here. Anybody in this area will be in the first quartile of our data. So our first quartile is in the bin 0 to 2.